Kozy. Kozy Mafia isn't just a group, it's a family. It's a collection of people that have been together through thick and thin. The name was originally created for QUAN supporters, but then he eventually started calling his friends around him that started YouTube channels Kozy Mafia. The name originated from ASAP Mob's Kozy tapes, but instead of a C in Kozy, he put a K. But enough on the name and where it came from and how it was created and who created it. Let's talk about some of the members, the most controversial part of this video. King Kozy. QUAN, aka PAPPIIQ, was the original creator of the name and the group. Eventually, he turned this name into a brand called Kozy. Kozy and Kozy Mafia are the same, but they aren't. Kozy is his clothing brand, and Kozy Mafia is his family. On June 25th, 2015, QUAN decided to start his YouTube journey. At that time, QUAN was only in 6th grade, but he wasn't shy creating content just off his PlayStation. He would do this for some time until he eventually moved towards IRL content. The content consisted of a multitude of things until something stuck. One of his videos ended up hitting over 100,000 views, which was a back to school try on haul. This video ended up revamping his entire channel. First, he tried basically school related content, including back to school videos, shoe collections, freshman advice, and rating first day of school fits, which ended up doing pretty well, but then he started to focus mainly on just clothing. But he wasn't shy trying different trends at that time, like testing diamonds at school and even just public interviews. Eventually, his hard work ended up paying off. After he graduated, he ended up buying his first car. He's mentioned multiple times that he wanted his first car to be a Challenger, so he made sure to make that happen. He was only 17 at the time, and purchasing his first car made him love cars even more. Now having a car, he started to post a bit more consistently, which would be more of a common thing later on in his life. Eventually, he ended up making his first collab video with BJ Groovy, which turned his channel more mainstream, especially at that time since BJ Groovy was kind of popular around this time. More and more videos in, he ended up buying his second car, which was a Scat Pack Charger. And keep in mind, at that time, he was only 18 years old. But after buying this car, he got to show his love for cars by modifying his Scat Pack Charger. This car would be more of a staple for him since people would start recognizing him on the streets of Atlanta. Not too long after buying his Scat Pack Charger, he made his second channel named QUAN. The channel consisted of basically vlogs and pranks. Also around this time, on his main channel, he ended up getting sponsorships, brand deals, and even ended up getting a deal with Forever 21. Now let's backtrack for a second. After buying his first car, since he was so deep into clothing, he started investing into making his own clothing. This is where he first started his clothing brand, but it ended up being an unsuccessful drop. Most of the clothes that he had in stock, he had to put on sale just to get all of the clothes sold. This happening did bother him, but this didn't keep him from creating more clothing. After buying his first charger, he ended up dropping clothing once again. But this time, it did the opposite. It was actually successful. Then not even 2 weeks later, he ended up dropping again, and it was successful again. With the success of his clothing brand, you would see his clothing channel slow down, but you would see his QUAN channel pick up. QUAN has stated he's always wanted to be a vlogger, and this gave him the opportunity to do that full time. He stated whenever he was on his main channel, he felt as if he was in a box. People only wanted to watch him for clothing and not much else. But he almost did it again on his QUAN channel when he made a whole series when he was making videos with his girlfriend at the time, to the point that people only wanted to watch videos with her and not much else. If you think I'm lying, after this video, go check. After he made this video, you would see less women on his channel. After this is where you would see more of his love for cars kind of come into play, but his views weren't really jumping. Nothing really blew up at this time. Then eventually QUAN decided to take vlogging serious. The video titled I Quit. In this video, this is where he started to put his vlog numbers, showing that he's taking it serious. After this video, this is where you would see content kind of similar to the ones that he posts today. But he was still waiting on that hit video to give him the spotlight until he dropped buying a Hellcat at 19. This is where he bought his first Hellcat, and from his words, this is where his life changed. After buying his Hellcat, this is where people would start to notice him a lot more. 19 with a Hellcat in Atlanta, honestly, that alerts everybody. But like I said earlier in the video, after buying his Hellcat, he started to post way more consistently. But it wasn't until he posted "She pulled up at 3 a.m. where honestly things changed. And at that time, me watching him, it seemed after this video, it was just hit after hit after hit. I kid you not, you just had to be there. Around this time, he was still at his mom's house, so he was in the process of buying his second car, moving out, buying more cars, going on dates, adventuring. Honestly, this was, I wouldn't say peak, but this is where he really started to be more creative, really getting a flow on YouTube. QUAN was literally living what rappers were talking about. His channel literally became Lil Baby lyrics, money, cars, and clothes, and women. It wasn't until he got his Trackhawk where he could use the little Dirk line, Hellcats and Trackhawks, but this is where people would start to say he's scamming. Buying a Trackhawk at 19 would just leave people flustered. It didn't make sense. There's no way he was buying all of this at 19 just from YouTube. Him buying a Hellcat at 19 was already crazy enough, but having a Hellcat and a Trackhawk, that raises eyebrows. But people just don't understand that QUAN has been making money since he was in high school. QUAN has never had to work a job due to the simple fact that he's always been hustling pretty much since he started YouTube. And at this point, he was just building off a foundation he already built when he was in high school. And not to mention, he's already stated that his cars he purchased strictly off clothing. YouTube money was just simply paying bills. At this point, having a Trackhawk now, he's made the most money that he's ever made. Monetizing his Instagram, starting a Patreon, starting to stream, making a car channel, releasing his biggest drop of clothing that he's ever made. Honestly, this was a stepping stone for him. But the scamming accusations got so big that he had to make a whole video explaining how he made money. But all that to the side, after having a successful year, QUAN finally got to obtain his dream car at the age of 20. Not only buying his dream car, but buying 2 other cars behind it. And also moving into his second penthouse in the city of Atlanta. QUAN has showed us that anything is possible, and one of his biggest quotes is, "I can do all things." QUAN expresses not to live like him, but be better than him. He wanted to be an example to the youth that you can do anything that you set your mind to, never have limitations. Even his first few cars weren't the smartest move financially, but he always lives with a motto that tomorrow isn't promised. So if you want something, go get it. And to think just a little over a year ago, he was just in his mom's house should be an example that your life can change at any moment. One good video, one good year, one good month, that's all you need to get to where you may want to be. Don't look at his journey and feel envious. See his journey as an example of where you could be in a year. Some may look at his journey and feel as if it's unrelatable because he's never worked a job. So comparing his life to theirs, it just seems unreachable. But QUAN is an example of never settling. He was never comfortable doing what he was uncomfortable doing. The fear of going to college and the fear of working a job simply made him work harder. And even to this day, after buying his dream car, he still isn't comfortable, which shows he will get further than where he is today. Currently, QUAN has a Patreon on how he makes money. So if you're interested in making money online, I recommend buying it. Link will be in my description for anybody that wants to purchase. I appreciate y'all for watching this video, and I appreciate QUAN for sharing his journey with the world. And this is only episode 1 of Kozy Mafia.